Hello, this is Chris Pratt from Eurogamer, joined by Kevin Martens, the lead designer on Diablo 3.
Hello.
And John Mueller, the art director.
Yes.
Did I say your surname right?
Mueller, yeah.
Mueller, okay, god damn it. I knew I'd get that wrong. Okay, so to start with, this artwork back here, that's your doing, right?
It is, yes.
The reveal of the Necromancer, I don't know if you noticed, but that artwork may have appeared slightly earlier than expected. Level with me here, John. Was it your fault? Did you post this artwork somewhere?
Well, I personally like Frank's introduction the best.
Yep.
I like my Christmas presents on Christmas Day.
Wrapped.
And it was, we were actually in the Overwatch area when Frank went up on stage and did the reveal, and we could hear the crowd all the way
From main hall.
From the main hall.
Through all the walls, through the Overwatch arena walls.
Yeah, it went down pretty well considering,
yeah. And it wasn't, I mean, there's a huge list of stuff we haven't even announced yet. So like people that tune in tomorrow, there's about 10 other things on the list that we haven't even talked about yet that Frank wasn't able to get to.
And no one's leaked yet.
Right, like the anniversary event, the new zones, the Necromancer, that's some stuff. If I could just briefly go through a laundry list here.
Yeah, sure.
We have the Armory feature, which is 5 full loadouts for all players, where you can save everything about your player, from the gems that are slotted to the Kanai's cube powers, the skills, the passives, all the equipment, and then name that, and with one button press you can do 5 other loadouts and switch your character's gear and skills and everything as well.
On the fly, or do you need to go to like an Armory NPC or something?
It's an Armory object in town.
Right.
So you do it in town, like not in the middle of combat,
yeah,
for example, like that. So that's one new feature. Greater Riffs is getting a pretty major overhaul. We've redone the algorithm, so there's no big empty areas.
Right.
Some of the monster AI has been changed. Some of the monster code has been changed. You can kill things that are jumping in air. Like, we just went through everything that is irritable about Greater Rifts, and we tried to solve all the problems. We've added some new things in there as well, like if you finish a rift without dying, you get an automatic bonus roll to upgrading your legendary gems.
Right,
There's a whole bunch of quality of life stuff there. For bag and inventory management stuff, all of the crafting mats have a dedicated crafting materials UI now. So none of them are in your bags anymore. That's everything from the Infernal Machine stuff to all your standard crafting things, which has the bonus of when you're going to Kanai's Cube to use a recipe, all that stuff auto-populates for you, which is super convenient as well. Dyes are also out of your bag, and they're at the Mystic, so when you're going to go change your appearance, you can also dye your stuff right there. You don't have to manage that inventory as well, so that frees up some space there. We have new legendary powers for all of the players. We've got a brand new game mode called Challenge Riffs.
Right, cool. Can you talk me through that?
Yeah, let me take a minute on this one.
Yeah,
this
sure,
is an
absolutely.
important one. This is probably the biggest part of tomorrow's announcements. Challenge Riffs is a set build, so you can't change the skills or the equipment or anything.
Okay.
And the most cool part about that is it's taken from a live player. So we take a live player's build, and we take a dungeon that they finished, and we give you their time. They're anonymous,
Oh my God, that's
totally anonymous.
That's excellent.
But it's a real player with a real build in a real dungeon. And then we set that build up for everybody in the world to play. So first year is like, can you beat the existing player's time? And even if they're really good, the advantage that you have is you can play the dungeon over and over again, because all the monsters, the locations of everything are also saved and set in stone. So you can like figure out where all the portals are in the elite groups and figure out what to skip and so on. So the basic version is beating that, and the more elite version is there's leaderboards for your friends and for your global region as well.
How often does that cycle? Like, how often does it pick a new
We haven't
player?
picked that quite yet, exactly how often. It could be weekly, it could be every couple of weeks. It depends how long it's fun for.
Right.
It has to sit
Good
there
answer.
long enough that people can have a meta.
Okay, yep.
Like when we play it internally, like one of our programmers screenshotted the map and then marked all the locations down and sent it out to the team. And they're like, okay, now we can all get better at this. And we like all halved our times, and then we were racing to do this dungeon. It was originally like a 5-minute 30 Greater Rift, and we were getting it down under 1 minute. Because when you know where everything is, it's not a wasted click.
So you want long enough that you
is.
can sort of get into like the deep end of it.
Yeah, and there'll be rewards for that as well. So we don't know quite what those are yet. Probably bounty bags or something along those lines. But there's more to be seen on that.
Does it share the name of the player who ran it in the first place?
No, we left that anonymous
Okay.
because we just make sure that it's a safe build and a safe.
But that player will recognize it. It'll be
Exactly.
Like, hang on, some of this looks oddly familiar.
But like, here's an interesting thing we've learned. So we know what elite players do, like a Twitch streamer or something who knows the build really well, is really good with it, and that would be an interesting build to play. But somebody who just like random, like they don't even have their full equipment set yet, they don't have all their legendary skills, or they have unusual passive or combos,
Yeah,
they don't like do just the build that's popular on the internet.
That's really great.
And like, okay, I don't know how to do this version of like Witch Doctor Chicken builds. You figure out what they were getting at, and then you start improving your time.
That's
so
cool.
That's a big feature.
Oh, it sounded that a lot.
Geez, what else? Oh, seasons are coming to consoles.
Yeah.
Right.
So Xbox One and PS4 players, welcome aboard.
Yeah,
Seasons are coming there as well, early next year, yeah.
Of course, there's also the Darkening of Tristram.
Yes, the anniversary event.
Yep.
We've recreated Diablo 1 in Diablo 3.
We'll get into that in a second if you don't mind. But like, just before we
I
do
probably
that,
forgot some stuff from that list. I'll just bring it up when it comes to me.
If anything comes to mind, absolutely. Like, this is 4 years since the actual original like release of Diablo 3. As a team, did you ever expect to be doing not just like quality of life changes like 4 years later, but character packs, big content updates, and just like wacky stuff like the challenge rift you just explained? Did you know it would?
I can answer
it would go on that far?
Not specifically. What we knew is that Blizzard supports their games.
Yes.
We kind of didn't know what nature it was going to take. We knew that no matter what happens, we would still be looking after Diablo, and it's not just a game; it's a service we provide. When you buy a Blizzard game, we're in it with you the long haul. So no, I certainly wouldn't have predicted something like challenge rifts. To be fair, an idea like that has been floating around for a long time, even before launch. So maybe that particular one was predictable. We just hadn't gotten around to really digging into that one until more recently. But yeah.
Absolutely. And with Diablo 3 specifically, like, how long can we expect that kind of support to keep on going? Like substantial updates. This isn't small stuff. Like
that's hard to say. Like 2017 is a ton of stuff, like all the stuff I mentioned and the stuff that Frank talked about on stage today. So I can't answer how long exactly that will be, but there's still a big player base and we still have a lot of ideas, so I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, fair enough. And just one thing to mention, with the Necromancer, the character pack is going to be like a paid-for DLC. Obviously that helps justify this, like what must be a huge amount of development time and resources that go into it. If that's successful, do you see that being like a model for Diablo 3?
That's definitely way too early to say. Okay. I can give you some details on the pack, by the way.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
There's two character slots, 2 stash tabs, a pet, pendants, banners, portrait frames, transmog items probably, and some other cosmetics as well. So it's a pretty big thing, and it's male and female Necromancer, all the cinematics for all the classes, fully VO'd, Acts 1 through 5, so the sets, the whole thing. Excellent. It's a complete class, yeah.
And
the bonuses.
Like, are character packs then perhaps something that you would think of like in the future of Diablo 3? Is that a way to like do big exciting announcements that aren't like a new expansion but somewhere in between?
Too early to say. This is the first time we've ever had anything like that. So I mean, to be fair, Reaper of Souls had a class in it as one of the main features of it. That was the last time. But,
sure.
Yeah, too early.
Yeah, but
John doesn't talk much.
Yeah, as we said, the character pack announcement this morning went down extremely well. I won't lie, I've just kind of sat through part of an interview before this, so I heard something kind of cool. Can you talk me through like the starting process of like how you arrived on the Necromancer class and like exactly why it was this one you needed to bring back?
Well, I can when we started with the sort of reimagining of the Necromancer. This was really something that the team was just super excited to take on, and we kind of really had to go back and, on the surface, the Necromancer is a priest of Rathma who raises the dead, right? That's the clinical way to look at it. But really, there's 16 years of player stories of people who they had these memories and the things that they loved about their experience of playing the game, and some of these memories may be 8-10 years old, but the way and the passion with which they remembered them, especially on the team, was really what informed the direction of especially artistically, and I think from a design sense as far as what the character does, and wouldn't it be cool if the Necromancer did this, and how do we stay true to the original but also bring the character forward into Diablo 3, because it's a very different kind of game.
Can you talk me through any examples of that process? So, obviously, you're looking back at Diablo 2 being like, this is what people liked, but we've done this whole new game, things have changed a lot since then.
Yeah, certainly on the art side, I can speak to it in the sense that there were the themes that we knew about, which is that the Necromancer is the commander of the dead.
Right.
But then there were things that we were like, well, we really felt like the Necromancer is kind of a rock star of classes. That he's really kind of a performer or a conductor, and that he would essentially, his effects would be, big and explosive and crazy. And
He's got an entourage like any proper
he's got
rock
an
star.
entourage. You know, we were like, he's really a rock star. And so the first concept that really resonated with the team was sort of this like almost like Iggy Pop type of character with
Amazing.
coattails, kind of like a mashup of like a a composer and like a modern rock star. You know, like a classical music composer like Bach or something in a rock star. So those were just some of the themes that we brought in that were new. And you know, but again, we really looked at the old, the original Necromancer and like the classic armor sets and also the classic skills are all present. And then, but we added this sort of new theme of blood, things like blood siphon and blood golem. And,
One of my favorite parts was taking some of the mechanics of the Necro from Diablo 2 and modernizing them, like the way that we did Corpse Explosion. I like it better than the Diablo 2 version.
What's the comparison like?
So corpses basically spawn pretty much every time you kill an enemy, and they appear in the middle of groups of enemies. So Diablo 3 has a higher density of monsters than Diablo 2, like just overall. People will remember Diablo 2 having high density, but if you actually count it, we're way higher.
Right. Okay.
Great, so there's big groups of monsters. So we basically just went way over the top with Corpse Explosion. You can blow them up to 10 corpses at a time. So, you know, if you get your skeletons and you command them, this is what makes them different from the Witch Doctor as well. So you say, all right, skeletons, attack this group, and it's 3 elites have attacked us, and they've got some minions. Attack this group, and then as you start to kill the minions, the corpses start showing up, and your skeletons are tanking. And then in one glorious explosion, you do all 10 at once, and then everybody falls down dead.
That sounds more fun.
Yeah, and every class in Diablo 3 has a movement ability. So the Necromancer's is he sort of disappears out of his skin. It's like almost like his internal systems warp forward, and then his body reforms around him with his armor and stuff.
That's a really gross way of describing it.
It's fast enough that it's not so gross, but it's like, did I just see what I think I saw?
Visually, when you see it, you'll go, wait, his skin just flew off his body. And
but quickly. We don't want to linger on it. And then every Diablo class has also the everyone dies on the screen ability as well. And so one of our, we haven't finished skill development for him yet, so there's still a lot more for us to do, which is the other cool thing. Diablo 3 has more skills than Diablo 2, so the Necromancer can actually have more options. Anyway, the big skill that we're going to show off later today at the panel is Army of the Dead, where over 125 skeletons form out of the ground in a giant circle, basically filling the whole screen, and they all come together and explode at the point where your mouse clicks, where you hit the ability.
That does sound like something you might not have been able to achieve in Diablo 2.
Right, probably technically as well. So all of the skeletons in the world, we're almost out.
Absolutely. Okay, so like at one point I know you were rumored to be working on a second expansion. You said with obviously Reap of Souls included a character. Is the Necromancer sort of a leftover part of that project, or is this a brand new thing that you've started to make a character pack and?
Yeah, this is a new idea, and so it's been forming over the last year. I think we've been feeling nostalgic, and that's probably why it's the Necromancer versus some of the other many ideas there.
Okay,
it seemed like a good time for a new class, and
yeah, absolutely. I know I've only got a minute left before this interview wraps up. On the theme of nostalgia, can we quickly talk about the fact that what sounds like you're recreating a large part of Diablo 1 in Diablo 3?
Right.
Like, to what extent is that sentence actually true?
Okay, so it's all 4 of the bosses. It's all 16 of the levels with the closest equivalents that we have in Diablo 3. It had enough nostalgia in it that we had a lot of equivalents. The monsters have been renamed. They have new AI so that they work like the old monsters. That includes the bosses. The bosses have been re-arted to look more like the Diablo 1 bosses. We've got a bunch of Easter eggs. Most, if not all of the quests are referenced, some of them completely playable in there. Here's one little spoiler, there's a bunch of new stuff as well. Like you get the baby butcher pet. You get a little butcher instead of a pacifier or a teddy bear. He has a little chunk of meat that he chews on. He runs around behind you and collects gold and a bunch of other stuff as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then Retrovision.
On Retrovision, of course, we took all the things that we loved about the nostalgic look of Diablo 2, and we brought it in Diablo 1, and we brought it into the modern era with glorious Retrovision, which is
you just wanted to say the word Retrovision.
Glorious Retrovision TM.
Okay, cool. So a good time to feel nostalgic about the Diablo franchise, then, right?
Yeah, 20th anniversary, and that will be playable hopefully in January of this year, and then every January from now on.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.